Duel Review is brought to you by NexusDigitalComics.com.
This week on Duel Review, Magic the Gathering, Planeswalkers, followed by Hulk vs. the two animated films.
We take a look at Flatliners, the movie, and we start off the week with the comic Arkham Asylum. I'm RJ.
And I'm Nick.
Let's get to it.
Welcome to Monday the 26th of December. I hope you all had a happy holidays, and because it is the 26th, a Merry Christmas.
Happy Boxing Day.
Boxing? Oh, man. Get ready of your boxes. It's a special day for everyone. Anyways, we're doing the comic Arkham Asylum, which spurred the video game. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, I was going to say, for all you people who thought that Arkham Asylum was a brilliant game, it was a brilliant game.
Yes.
But the story was based on a comic from 1989. It's Dave Morrison and, what is it, Grant Morrison and Dave McKean. And, like I say, 1989. So if you look at the book, I mean, it's been re-released. This is the new cover. If you look at the book, it is very, edgy and drippy and very different from what you were seeing in 1989.
Yes.
These guys are, I think one of them was from Scotland and the other one was British. And they were given the property, and they basically told the story of the development of Arkham Asylum, or Amadeus Arkham, who started it, and it kind of his journey into madness. If you played the game, then you know a little bit about that, all the little secrets that you found.
Yeah, the little secrets got the beetle and then the thing.
Right.
Yeah,
and
they tend to give you information.
This is his story of madness, and we get to see a little bit of lifeblood in the Arkham Asylum. Now, right away, I will tell you that, unfortunately, there's not enough for me. There's so much, obviously, there that could be there in Arkham Asylum. I mean, because it's not really a hospital to help people. It's really just to put them away. It's like, a substitute for jail.
Right.
And there's obviously a lot of mystique around there, and just part of Gotham. I mean, Gotham City in general has got so much story to it. Arkham Asylum must have even more. But this is just a little flavor. I think this is really the first time it had been told, as far as I know.
Yeah.
And they were really inventive in the way they did this.
Right.
The book apparently is chock full of symbolism, which I don't really even get. Apparently, something about tower and shadows and the moon. And I'm into poetry. I've done the Shakespeare thing, but I didn't really read into this. I just kind of enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah, I enjoyed.
I don't know what the symbolism is about. Is what I'm saying.
How do you explain? Well, I mean, for the moon, for example, even the first person to really acknowledge the moon is Two-Face, and he claims it, and he says that it's God's silver coin that he tossed, and the scar side landed up.
Right.
And that in itself is symbolism of how corrupt the world is, as if God is saying, I chose damnation,
Okay, all right. If it's rife with that, I missed it. Maybe you can do more, but is there any other, what's the tower? I don't know what the tower is.
The tower, yeah, I'm not 100%.
Anyway, so Amadeus, he basically, his story, he has a family and he's got this house. His mother is basically going insane. There's kind of like this, is she being haunted? Is she insane? What's going on with the house? So he leaves the house, has his own life. When he comes back to the house, he decides that he's going to turn it into Arkham Asylum so that people like his mother and people like a criminal that he ran into, Mad Dog, can get help. And they don't have to, sit in jail where they can't be helped. So interesting twist of fate happens, we'll say. And he basically pays for trying to do something good, but instead of reacting how you normally would as a normal human being, kind of goes off the deep end a little bit, and there's some cross-dressing involved. Some weird stuff happens, and Amadeus, even though he sees it as kind of a normal thing, like it just seems normal to him, right as rain, it's just perfectly natural to do that, but whatever. He builds the asylum, and he's got lots of trap doors, like secret passage ways and stuff. So that's kind of the story that is being told. It's kind of interspersed with Batman.
Right.
He gets called.
Yeah, it's a dual. It's definitely a dual storyline. It focuses because it is a Batman title. It needs Batman, but it focuses on Amadeus.
Amadeus is much more cohesive.
Right. The story behind Batman is essentially he is coerced into going to Arkham Asylum, and the Joker and some other inmates who have taken hold of it force him to both get psychoanalyzed and play their little games.
Right. They want Batman to live in their world,
Right.
and
Right.
Joker especially. And Joker, we get a really nice flavor of Joker here, even though he's not a huge part, and he is at the beginning. And we were talking about Joker not being violent and having this strange thing where he doesn't really kill anybody. Well, he certainly does in this.
Yes, he's. I mean, this is his peak insanity.
Just the way that his art is.
Yeah, with sometimes he's drawn with this kind of jutting square chin, which is different.
And his hair is way crazy. And his eyes,
bulging.
His eyelids have been peeled away or something.
Oof.
And the way he speaks when they write it, it's almost like graffiti, like that bloody graffiti that you see. It's actually really hard to read. I'm still not sure. There isn't a word or two I cannot figure out, especially reading it at night. Usually when I do, it's hard to read.
Yeah.
But fascinating little touch of him. My other big complaint, I guess, about this book, it's a great book, and it's amazing again that it's 1989.
Yes, especially just how graphic it is.
But I'm sad, almost kind of like the video game, actually. I mean, Killer Croc had a good part in the video game. Who else? I mean, Joker, obviously, and Harley Quinn, but, like Zsasz, I don't know, who cares about Zsasz, really, but they kind of skim over a couple of villains really quickly.
Right.
Like, we see Killer Croc in, 3 panels, and it's not really resolved. And same with, Clayface. It's not really resolved. And
you're talking about the first game?
No, I'm talking about the book now.
Gotcha, yeah.
All these characters are introduced, but it's really not about Batman's thing. I mean, really early on, we see that Batman is frail in his mind.
Right,
He is close to being a psychopath himself, or, mentally disturbed.
Does he stab himself?
Yes, he does.
He does, and I thought that was
Stabs
weird.
himself through the hand
with glass
almost immediately for no real reason. I think it's just to show that he's mad right now. He's mad. Like he goes in there and he's like, I can take it. I can take all this stuff. He does a simple word association test, and afterwards he's like, stop. I've got to stop.
Yeah.
And the Joker, thinks that's hilarious. Immediately he's starting to try. He meets the Mad Hatter again. Really, kind of quick, and actually he probably has most face time of the 3 I mentioned.
Yeah.
And still nothing's really resolved. It's just, and Two-Face, nothing's really resolved. So it really is an Amadeus story with glimpses of Batman, and I'm not sure what that says about if that's like Amadeus's actions, the future caused this. I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to say. I haven't looked at it. I really just enjoy it for the art and for Joker's portrayal. Really.
I think they just had to throw Batman in there because it is a Batman title. Which
there's got to be something more.
That's what I'm thinking, and maybe they did have something to say because, at first about the when Batman stabs himself. At first, I was thinking, okay, this has got to be just his own. It's got to be in his head, that he does this. But if it actually happened, if he actually stabbed himself, what does that say about him? I mean, it means that all the fights that he's been in, he does it to himself.
Well, he might also have been trying to clear his head. I'm not sure, but
pain.
Yeah, right. I mean, I've heard of that, and pain helps you focus. It snaps you out of it. Well, anyway, that's a basic example. Snap out of it.
That's true.
So, I've known about this for several years, and I guess I've always just kind of taken it as the start of Batman being dark. There would be no Dark Knight necessarily without this book. There would be no Arkham, Asylum or Arkham City video games without this book, possibly.
Right.
I mean, it's really turned a corner for Batman and made it really dark. Questionable. It definitely brought the psychoses out.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you read this along with the other Batman books that are around the time, it's like Batman and Robin, and you know what I mean, like the series.
And then suddenly it's insanity, and you're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So it's a heavy book, and it's definitely key. Having said that, on its own merit, the art is fascinating.
Yes.
Some of the dialogue and character is fun, like Joker.
Yeah, definitely.
I shouldn't miss it just for the Joker, but other than that, as a whole, I'm intrigued more than I am satisfied.
Yeah, I can definitely
like. I want to know more about Amadeus, and I want to know about Arkham Asylum more. But it's like some series like raise questions, and then because they're canceled or whatever, you never get the resolution. Yes. Is it worth it? You know what I mean? Like this definitely is, because it led to so much more.
Yeah.
But on its own, if you start reading this and you are the type of person like me usually who wants some kind of resolution, I mean, it doesn't have to be what I expect necessarily, but I like things to be
close,
bookended a little bit.
Right.
That's the American way, especially. But I mean, that's just good storytelling. You leave people with something, and possibly there's just symbolism I'm not getting. But
maybe I think that this
I should look into it, I guess.
I think this book is most about making you think, because if the Batman is using pain to ignore, the past,
or clearly thinking about it. I mean,
but if that's the case, then he joined. He became Batman not because he wanted to stop the crime, but because he wanted to get into fights so that he can forget.
Okay.
Because when he fights, he can feel pain, and when he feels pain, but that says so much. I mean, it says that Batman is a crazy person.
And honestly, this re-release has the script along with it.
Right.
It has the script of the book, and I haven't read it. There are some footnotes, so maybe there's some explanation of the symbol. So I probably should read that. I just got this re-release. I don't think this re-release is that old, but I just got it. So I should revisit that. But more than anything, it just signifies a change in Batman.
Yes.
I mean, because Frank Miller.
A change.
When was Frank Miller? Frank Miller was around the same time, right?
I believe so. Yeah. Yeah.
So.
And when you say change, you don't mean like Batman changes like mentally. You mean that
a shift from
the character who is
into
Batman.
the darkness.
Right.
I mean, a darker world, a darker Gotham.
Yeah.
Which I happen to love. So I'm very grateful for this book, and to Grant Morrison and Dave McKean. Thank you, sirs.
Yeah. Is that it?
I think that's it.
I think that's it.
All right, guys. Tell us what you think. Follow us on Facebook. Subscribe on YouTube.
Comment us. We'll comment you back.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to answer comments on air, especially. All right, guys. Thanks.
Bye.
Yes. I got it. Nice job, sir.
Nice job.
Fantastic job.
Get some more.
No. I have my... Next up, it's Magic the Gathering, Duels of the Planeswalker.
This week on Duel Review, Magic the Gathering. This week on Duel Review, Magic the Gathering's Planeswalkers. I was stumbling there. I didn't guess. Magic the Gathering's Planeswalkers.
Gathering. Right.
Magic the Gathering. Yeah, but it's.
Oh, I gotcha. It's just Magic the Gathering : Planeswalkers. So. Magic the Gathering Planeswalkers. Do you want me to start this week?
No. This week on Duel Review, Magic the Gathering Planeswalkers, followed by
Hulk versus.
Yeah, I'm so changing Israel's Hulk versus. Okay. This week on Duel Review, Magic the Gathering Planeswalkers, followed by Hulk versus, the two animated movies.
We take a look at Flatliners, the movie, and we start off the week with Arkham Asylum, the comic. I'm RJ.
And I'm Nick.
Let's get to it. Oh, God.
This week on Duel Review, Magic the Gathering Planeswalkers, followed by the Hulk versus movies.
We take a look at Flatliners, the movie. Oh, God, I said video game.
Okay. This week on Duel Review,
Lots of words.
Yes. It's a lot of words.
It's hard.
I don't want another chili dog.